Hey guys, what's going on? It's me, Jay. I wanted to wish everyone a happy Three Kings Day, aka Dia de las Tres Reyes in Spanish. It's a traditional holiday celebrated mostly in Latin America, but it's celebrated really um, throughout the Western world as the day of the Epiphany. Basically, the day that according to the book of Matthew, in the Bible, the three kings, the three magi from the east, um, arrived in Bethlehem to greet the Christ child. The three kings were Balthazar from Arabia, um, Melchior from Persia, and Gaspar from India. Um, they heard and they saw that the Star of David, the Star of Bethlehem, had appeared in the sky, and they came to give the Christ child myrrh, frankincense, and gold. Each each king giving Jesus um, a different gift. Hey, Lisa. But yeah, this is celebrated, like I said, in Latin American countries a lot. It's actually a big holiday in the Puerto Rican Latino community. Sometimes they'll leave gifts. Parents will leave gifts for the children next to their shoes or underneath the bed, hidden. That's how it was when I was a kid. But what is the symbolism of this holiday? Um, in the Bible, of course, the chosen nation of God is the Jewish nation, the nation that received the Torah on Mount Sinai. But what about all the other nations of the world? Well, this was their moment. This was their time that they came to know about the God of Israel, because here they are seeing him right there in the flesh. So that's why they call it the Epiphany. And Epiphany, of course, is the Greek word for revelation. It's where we get the the English name Tiffany from. And you see several epiphanies in the Bible, several times that Christ appears in the flesh. But this is one of those times. The Gentile nations of the world um, became knowledgeable about the God of Israel. Persia had known about God in the periphery for many generations, because it was the Persians who released the nation of Israel from Babylonian captivity. Arabia had known about the God of Israel because the Arab people, the Arabian people, share in the bloodline of Abraham through his second son, through his firstborn son, Ishmael. And India had known um, about the God of Israel because Solomon had contacts um, with Israel, with India, from Israel during his kingdom. That's why on the Malabar coast of India, there was always Jewish people, and they later became Christian people because there was contacts in the southern part of India with people from the Middle East. So this event represents that. This event represents Gentile nations coming into the fullness of knowledge of of Christ. In the Eastern Orthodox world, this holiday is symbolic. And of course, the Eastern Orthodox world is like the Greek world, the Slavic world, and Arab, modern day Arab Christians. It represents the day that Christ was baptized. Um, but I'm more, like I said, I'm more familiar with it being Three Kings Day, the the day that the three magi, the three wise men, visited the Christ child with myrrh, frankincense, and gold. Each each symbolic of their land. You had the gold that came from uh, Persia, the incense that came from Arabia, because Arabia was known at that time for incense, especially the part of Arabia that they were familiar with, like the modern day nation of Yemen. Not really the Hijaz region. The Hijaz region was just a trading area, but they were familiar with that part of the world. So, yeah, happy Three Kings Day. I remember this when I was a little kid, being just deported, what they call the Puerto Rican Christmas, the Spanish Christmas. Um, do they eat special food? Um, yeah, Lisa, they do. They sometimes make pateles, which is a traditional Puerto Rican dish, which is like sort of like Mexican people have tamales. You know, they stuff it with meat. It's known really throughout the whole Spanish Caribbean. It's like dough stuffed with meat. It's very good. That's something that a lot of Latinos eat for this day. But yeah, they do eat special food. Because you see, in my family, like I had my tree up until after Christmas. So in a lot of Latino households, they leave their tree up until January the 6th. So I had it up until today. If I watched some of my older videos, like the video yesterday, I still had the tree up. My mom just took it down today. So yeah, but I remember learning about this when I was real, real little and memorizing what they had given Christ. And this, I felt, this is really the origins of why we give presents um, on Christmas. And I believe too, in some parts of the world, this is also um, the feast day of Saint Nicholas. Saint Nicholas is, of course, the patron saint of children and the patron saint of gift givers. And he evolved in American culture. I no, they just go to church. At least as far as I know, they just go to church um, and they pray on this day. So yeah, and so that's as far as my family personally uh, uh, did. I don't know about any other people's family. You know, I can only speak for the things that my family did for me growing up when I learned about this holiday. So yeah, peace. And don't forget to like and subscribe to the video. And thank you, Lisa, for commenting. And I wish I could, I wish I could give, um, a more comprehensive video on the holiday, but I'll put a link in the description box for the Wikipedia article about it. But happy holiday to everyone celebrating. Peace.